Hello. Okay. Hello, and welcome to the Inspiration Point podcast. I will be your DM. My name is Abby. This is Sky, my moderator.
Hey, y'all.
And I will be your DM this week. And let's start off by introducing everybody and their characters.
I'm Sky. You want me to give just a basic overview?
Yeah, just give your name, background, and something about them.
Okay. I play a half-orc paladin named Horace Lay. He's a very nervous boy. He comes from, the typical thing where your village was destroyed and he tried to lead his village into safety, but completely fucked it up. And, he came here to try to get his village to safety after killing half of them, on accident. It's he led them through a mountain. They did some things, it's bad. Stop it. Pray for me. And, he got here and now he's a knight of the king. And he has some problems, actual mental problems that he's trying to, that affects the way that he battles and things. But yeah, that's Horace.
And remember Sky's character, his symbol is a rhino, and he is a knight of the king and a member of the Order of the Black Hand.
Okay. Future reference.
Hello, my name is Greg, and my character's name is Peltz. He is a half-elf bard of lore. He does not believe in wearing armor, and he also has a very weak body tone. He's very scrawny. On Saturday evenings, he likes to perform at a comic show with not a stripper.
Guys, please.
And wears a turtle mask under the pseudonym
Kurt. Okay. Nick, your character?
Hello, my name is Nick. I'm playing the character Solus. I'm a noble rogue who's the traitor of this group for the king, and yeah.
Okay. I forgot to mention, Greg's symbol is a cat with a silver tongue, and he is a researcher for the king. And Nick's symbol is a gem, and he's a traitor. And, go on, man.
Hey y'all, it's Jacob Wheeler kicking back here. My character's a dryad, and her name is Sylvia. Now, she was a premature born, and now she is 3 years of age, with only the height of 3. Along with that, she has 2 tentacles attached to her back, thus of which carries her paw around. Now, because dryads are attached to one spiritual tree, and since she's a premature youth, her tree is only 1 feet long. As for fun, when not on duty, she would go off into the fields or into busy towns and play a song and put the plant out. Villagers or townfolk will usually pay with water instead of coins.
Interesting. And remember, the dryad is sort of like it's a made-up race that we made for this campaign, but I think they're cool.
Yeah.
And so, his symbol is obviously this tree, and he's the physician's assistant. And, Water, what's your character?
I'm Wada Karula, and I shall be playing as the African beauty, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I hate you so much.
I just want to state, I knew nothing about this character beforehand, so...
And whose fault is that? Alright, I am a druid. Alright, Outlander. I am a tribalman from way back in the lands of Africa.
Yeah.
My race is African.
I don't know how you got it legally, but okay.
Long story.
Okay, guys, quiet down now.
And essentially, I am the most useful member in the team.
Alright.
There's actually a black race.
So, Water's symbol is a lion, and he is a hunter for the king. Joseph.
Okay, my character is a rogue swashbuckler wood elf named Saria, and she always mentions a special thing about her, and it's that if you mention lootcrate.com/Saria, you get 10% off on all purchases.
Listen, okay, I'm gonna give you an inspiration point just for that, okay? Just take it and leave. So Joseph's symbol are waves, and he is a bounty hunter for the king. CJ, tell me about your character.
Well, it is Clefbird, the dragonborn. He's a cook.
Okay, that's all? Okay. CJ's symbol is a knife, and he is a cook for the king. Jocelyn, tell me about your character.
My character is Crunch. He's a wizard gnome hermit. He's very childlike and has a terrible sense of direction, and he barely knows what's going on in the city.
Alright. Joven's symbol is a rat, and she is the mage's assistant. So yes, that's everybody on the Inspiration Point podcast so far. Let's dive into some backstory for the worlds that we're in.
Do I win for having the first inspiration point?
Listen, you have one inspiration point just because of lootcrate.com. You're not getting more.
I think I've already won the
Okay,
race.
you gotta
though.
top lootcrate.com. Now get out. I'm just kidding. Okay, let's get some backstory for the world we are in. So, the current world where our adventure will be taking place will be taking place in the setting of fantasy Italy. Because why not? And the kingdom that you live in is in a vast valley that is surrounded by mountains on all sides. In the center of the valley is a very dense and redwood forest. And in the very center of the forest is a clearing. Nobody knows if that clearing has been natural or if the first settlers of this land had chopped down all the trees to create an artificial clearing. But in the center of the clearing, in the epicenter of the entire valley, is a giant redwood. It's huge. It's almost, I'd say, 20 stories tall. Or at least, actually no, it's twice the size of an average redwood. And it comes up, its leaves are expansive and very dense and strong. So the king decided to build his castle on top of it.
Wonderful.
So, yes, in the middle of the town is the redwood's leaves are so large and huge that it covers the entire clearing in a dense shadow. So, because of that, while in the town, you will have advantage on stealth rolls. But we probably won't get to that, maybe. And below, in the rest of the clearing, is where the town is. Now, the king, his name...
Is there like an elevator to the top?
Nah, it's just it's a spiral staircase, you know? Just going around the trunk up into the main thing.
I got you.
It makes it so hard to bring milk in the morning.
Oh.
Like, the milkmaids are buff. Because they gotta carry that milk up, like, a redwood.
Yeah.
Are there any like Assassin's Creed sandbag things like you like cut
Leave.
the rope and then you
Just leave.
But I'm a rogue. Can I just like cut a rope and be like, woo, and then
Can I explain the backstory? Okay. The king's name is King Bavolio. His symbol is a hog. And let's just say King Bavolio is a bit of a character. He's a high elf, but he's extremely fat. Mostly because his wife died 100 years ago and he just kind of let himself go.
Understandable.
So yeah, he let himself go, so he's really fat. He's not the handsomest man, but also he's not the ugliest, but he is pretty ugly. He has no left hand. He lost it in the war. And he has bright turquoise hair.
But he's a hook though.
Yeah, he has a hook.
Yeah, he's a hook.
He's got a hook for a hand.
It's Captain Hook before.
Yeah, basically Captain Hook in a king form, but
King
better.
Hook.
And he... From your time at the court, you can tell he's very bad at gambling. But, you know, he's the king, so everybody does not want to lose to the king. For they're scared that they're going to lose their heads. So they always let the king win, even though he's horrible. He has a very high-pitched voice. And he's very honest. He's very blunt all the time. And he always seems to be out on top of the castle in the atrium with his daughter, tending to the animals and the birds. Speaking of his daughter, the princess is named Sarath, and she is exceptionally beautiful. She's so beautiful, and I kind of modeled her after Princess Zelda. She's also a high elf, and she has several piercings along her ears. It seems like every centimeter along the back of her ears is an earring. And she plays the lyre, she sings a lot, and she's a seer, meaning she can tell the future. But her prophecies very symbolic and very hard to decipher you have to think about them a lot. And yes, Greg.
So why are we serving an emo?
I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that.
So emo, much edge.
Listen.
Or hot topic. What's her name?
Okay.
I bet you $5 is a hot topic in this castle.
It's not a hot topic. Leave.
How about White Castle?
Oh god.
Anyway.
I don't want that.
But yes, the princess plays a lyre, she sings. She's a seer, and she has a pseudo-dragon named Aragorn.
Wow. I'm done. I'm physically done.
Oh no.
Oh no, Greg, come back.
Again, we're experiencing some technical difficulties. Bye. I'm just gonna have to look for this loud wave.
Aragorn. It's Aragorn.
Suedo dragon.
Aragon.
It's his,
Aragon.
the pseudo dragon's name is Aragorn, and there is the youngest prince. No, the youngest prince's name is. Hold on.
Bobby Jean, Bobby Bob,
Bobby Yotes.
Bobby Jones.
The youngest prince's name is Gareth.
Gareth.
And he's also a high elf, and he's only about 80 years old. I forgot to mention the king is 500 years old, and the princess is 118.
So what's the race?
They're all high elf.
Okay.
He's very old.
Makes sense.
And so, yes, and the prince has been away at a convent since he was 10 years old to see if he had the sea scrying power that his sister and his mother had. The queen was also a seer, but not much is known about the queen, as she was sort of kept out of the light. The king, even though the king was a noble that married the queen to become king, she was more in the background. And so she was very secretive, and not much is known about her. All that is known is that her symbol is a rabbit, and she's often been associated with the Guild of the Swift, which is sort of like a Black Ops operation that it is rumored the Queen has been in control of. Nobody knows much about the Order of the Swift either. And so, yes, those are our main characters. Let's get into the story of the campaign. So, the Princess Saroth has been away at a convent for a good 100 years of her life. She's only been at the court for 28 years, the first 10 years of her life, and the last 18 years. However, the youngest Prince Gareth has been at the convent since he was 10, and he is currently 80, and he's finally coming back. So the king is holding a festival for the return of his son. He's holding a banquet. And so throughout the day, you've had preparations going on, and around noon, there was a jousting festival. And let's say, Sky's character, what's the name of your character again?
Horace
had entered the jousting competition,
Oh yeah.
and he actually won the competition.
Did
He
I?
was- yes.
Awesome.
He was the best thing, and then he got beat up afterwards because none of the knights like him. None of the knights like Horace. Because Horace is in favor of both the king and the princess. The king sort of took Horace under his wing, and the princess favors Horace because he entertains her. He's the only knight that she actually likes. And so, yes.
Oh yeah.
And now, at this point in time, you are at the banquet. It's the beginning of the banquet.
And
It's at the beginning of the banquet, and the king stands up, and he wishes to give a speech. My fellow subjects!
Oh, Jesus Christ. I want to die already.
No interrupting.
My fellow subjects, I am glad to announce that my son Gareth has returned to me after being away for so long. And you can just see the princess in the background roll her eyes like, yes, father, I was away for 100 years. I didn't even get a banquet. Let's just say you can tell that the king doesn't really favor the daughter. He's just kind of there. And so, back to the speech. After my son has been away for so long, and you see, well, I have a bit of other news along with this happy day of my son's return. I have just reached word from the kingdom of... Give me a kingdom name.
Beryllium.
Avalon.
Zirath.
Tyrillium? I have just reached word from the kingdom of Tyrillium that my daughter shall be wed to his eldest son on the morrow. The king, my fellow king, and his 3 sons are on their way here today, and they will be reaching here tonight, and they will be wed in the morning. And you can hear a large round of applause from the whole audience. And as you look up, yes. Yes! Breathe on this happy day! Happy day! I am so glad that my daughter can finally be wed after being single for so long. I mean, geez, I should already have grandchildren already, but we won't get into that. Listen, Greg, he's a king, and it takes place in, Italy, alright? They want grandchildren.
We could have a matriarch, mind.
Okay, and so, as the round of applause is happening and the king is sort of basking in the glory, you can you see the princess, even though she was pale, she looks almost sheep-white. from your experiences with the princess, you can tell she knew she was going to be married off eventually. And without... Actually, let's say... Investigation. Yeah, that makes sense.
Sweet.
Investigation. The first crit one.
Sky, what'd you get?
Oh, 1.
What'd you get?
15.
13?
9.
12.
7.
18.
5.
Okay, for all those who got a 10 or above, you can sort of gauge that she does not want to. You can tell she hates this idea. She knew she was going to be married off, but you can tell like this is the first she's hearing of this. She didn't know before just this second. And yes, and at this point, everybody except for CJ's character is standing on the sides of the dais. You're standing on the sides of the dais. Sort of like protecting or guarding the king, the princess, and the empty throne for the queen. And yes, what do you want to do?
Well, god dang.
Can I just like wink at the princess? Just like.
You can't. Okay, you wink at the princess, but she doesn't respond. She's sort of like staring down at her hands, not really doing anything. And at this point, the festivities have resumed. The king has gone off of the dais, and he's sort of walking around greeting the guests.
I want to go make sure. Sarath? Sarath's her name?
Sarath.
Sarath? I want to make sure she's chill.
So what do you do?
Alright. So, like, where am I in?
So let's
perspective
say
to her?
the dais is in. The dais is here. You're on, I'd say, the left side of the dais. The king's chair is in the middle. The queen's chair is on the right, and Princess Sarath's chair is on the left.
I'm gonna go over to the left chair, where Sarath is.
Right.
And so, I say, I'm gonna do my voice, guys. It's like, okay, it's like, I think I'm doing like low and stuttery, right? So, Sarath, you cool, man? What's going on?
Roll a charisma.
Okay.
Your die is over there.
Okay. 18
Ooh, Jesus.
plus 4.
Spicy.
I
That's
know.
what I was gonna do.
She kind of looks up to you and just says, "Can't I be like the birds?"
The birds.
Need this
The
evil
birds.
shit right now.
Can't I be like the birds?
Sarath, you wanna be... I can't, man.
3.
At this point, Aragorn has sort of climbed over and is sitting on her shoulders and kind of just looks you straight in the eye.
In what sort of way?
He looks at you in the eye and like slightly tilts his head, and you can see like little bits of steam coming out of his nostrils.
Like he's angry or just staring?
Do animal handling. Roll animal handling.
Animal handling?
Yes.
That works. I'm proficient in it! 50.
He doesn't look angry. More as like, why are you bothering Master? Like, what is your purpose here? He's like, he's a protective boy. That's what he's doing. He's being protective of his master.
He's so male right now.
What, do you need any, want me to do anything for you?
Sarath just kind of looks back down again, and then the dragon just kind of nips at you. He just kind of nips at you.
I'll be back later then, I guess.
Right. Anybody else want to do anything? Greg.
Is my loyalty to the king or the princess?
I don't know. Is your loyalty to the king or the princess?
Okay, I have no idea. I was okay.
The king's a cool dude, though. Like, generally, he's a cool dude.
I will say this. The princess has only been at court the last 18 years.
So I would probably be more loyal to it.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to know. I was
Okay.
curious as to where my line.
Water, what would you like to do?
I would like to look up for any potential threats.
Roll in
Perception?
perception, yeah. Do perception.
That's
8 plus 4.
12.
No.
While he's calculating that, does anybody else want to do anything?
I like this. I like to whisper a message to the princess.
What do you mean whisper a message?
It's just one of my cantrips. And
Oh,
it's just-
using like the spell whisper?
well, it's just called message.
Oh,
So
okay.
Point your finger at someone and do a message in their brain, and they can
Right.
talk back to you with their brain.
Okay.
Telekinesis.
Alright, what do you say?
Hey, princess, you want to play?
Roll a d20 real quick.
Child.
5. Wait.
Persuasion. Is it a? Are you doing it for persuasion?
Yeah, persuasion. That works.
Hell yeah.
Well, I have 11, so I just add that.
Yeah.
Okay, 16. Jesus.
She looks up and she. Would you say that you have hung out with the princess? Or would you say, like, as the, So, you are the,
Dryad.
Dryad, right? So, would you say you hung out in the atrium a lot? It's like a garden area.
Yeah, I guess you can say that.
Okay. So,
Probably
the
sleep there.
princess is very familiar with you. So she gets up and she sort of, a smile comes across her face, but you can tell it's kind of forced, a little bit sad. And so she puts out her hand and says, "Let's go dance."
Okay.
Do you take her hand?
Oh, jeez.
Persuasion check, boy. No,
It's not
performance.
persuasion.
Performance.
Yeah. So you go out and do a performance check. Yeah.
Okay. Performance 19.
You tear the shit out of that dance floor,
I
man.
like Rudolph.
You go out.
Break dance.
You go out and you are the best dancers on the ballroom.
You don't even need
Even
her.
though the
We're just
so
Egyptian.
you're 3 feet tall. You're 3 feet tall, correct?
Yeah.
Sirach's like 6 foot, so you're just kind of like on her toes, and she's just spinning you around. It's adorable.
She's like a dance pole for me.
Way to go.
Guys, inspiration point for that.
Immediately.
I'm handing out inspiration points like candy. I mean, I realize our podcast is called Inspiration Point, but this is just too much.
We should have like a count to see who has the most inspiration point.
Greg,
I would like to go. And would I be able to go and find someone selling like rings?
I would say this is taking place in the main ballroom. So if you were to find, you could. No, if you wanted to find somebody who was selling something, you would have to go down into the town.
Could I try and pay someone at the ball with a gorgeous looking ring?
I mean, these are all nobles and rich people at this ball. You'd have to do. Although, it depends. It would have to depend because the person might be so rich they're like, "Oh, you want to just take it? No, it's ugly." Or they could be just like, "No, I want to keep it." You know, it depends on the person.
So, could I do a history check of the people at the party?
Are you searching for somebody who would give you a cheaper ring?
Yes.
Alright, do a history check. Do any of you guys want to do anything?
Can I like make a roll to ask what's wrong with the princess?
Well, currently the princess is dancing
Oh, they're still
and having a
dancing?
wonderful time.
Okay, they're still dancing.
But the pseudo-dragon is still on the throne. If you want to do something like that.
What about my threat, like radar?
Oh, your threat radar, what did you get again?
I got 12.
You notice, kind of in the back, there's a figure with purple hair that kind of comes out into little pigtails almost in the front, and it's back in a ponytail. And he's faced away from you, but he looks about 6 foot, and he's wearing a cloak that goes over one shoulder, and it looks as if he's arguing with one of the servants.
Oh snap. Oh snap.
But it's not really very a vibrant argument. It's in hushed voices, and you can just sort of tell as if the servant's uncomfortable. Greg, what do you
I got a 16
on what was it?
the history check.
Oh, the history check. You noticed a plumper, dwarvish woman in the corner with a ring on every finger.
Oh. So, I approach her. and say, "Milady, with so many fabulous gifts, would you mind parting with just one ring? I am willing to compensate you for that ring of
What's
gold.
your race again?
I'm a half-elf."
She sort of just looks at you, looks at her husband, looks back at you, tilts her head, scoffs, and throws a ring behind her.
Lit.
And what would you like to do about that?
I would
Water.
like to eavesdrop on their situation.
Stealth check.
Yeah, you walk in and
do-
listen in to the conversation.
Do a stealth check with disadvantage.
Stealth check.
Just
I got an unnatural 20 for perception.
for perception.
So can I see that person too?
Yeah, yes, you notice the hooded figure as well.
Would I be able to walk up and say something if I wanted to?
Could.
I'd like to make a perception check for this.
Could I?
Okay, roll a perception. If any of you guys want to roll perception for this figure as well.
I got 4.
Nobody.
I'm busy dancing.
You got a 4 for a stealth check?
Yeah.
You're just hiding behind a potted plant.
Civic sits right
Okay, you're hiding behind this potted plant, but it's like when a person's trying to hide in hide and seek behind a telephone pole. It's just like your face is obscured, but we can see the sides of your body.
Makes sense.
But because they're so preoccupied, they do not notice.
This is the 3rd time this day.
Right.
Is the king still out on the floor?
Oh yes, he's out and about gallivanting with his guests. I will get back to you two in a minute.
I would like to approach him and present him this ring as a gift for his daughter's upcoming wedding. And I would like to deceive him into thinking I spent like a lot of money on this ring.
Okay. So what do you do when you approach the king?
Sir, I spent quite a penny affording you, or quite a bit of gold pieces affording you this gift for your daughter's upcoming wedding.
Are you sure about that? Roll persuasion. Deception, I mean. Yeah, deception. That would be better.
Either one works.
I'll get back to you too. Deception.
Crap it.
Went off the rails.
27.
27. Okay.
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20? Okay.
Or like it's not
Wait,
it's like an unnatural.
Okay.
It's not straight up.
Got
20.
it. So he's just like, oh ho ho! Thank you, good sir. I will ensure that my daughter gets this. What was your name again?
Pelt, I'm your researcher, my sir.
Oh, of course. I'm sorry. I'm a bit daft. He's sort of like he twirls his beard hair and he's just like, I forgot what I was going to say, and he walks away.
Brown nosing for the win.
Does anybody else want to do anything before I get to plot? Nick.
I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna have that point change, but obviously.
Yes, roll perception to find king.
Hey, Abby. Is the kitchen anywhere near this party, or am I just cooking and bringing it up?
So, as a cook, I would say you're cooking food and you're sort of bringing it out in troughs onto the buffet table, where the servants are then taking it to go around and give to people at the banquet.
So it's like in the back room of the ballroom.
Yes, you could say the back room's like in the center of it, and then it's like a large rectangular room, and in the back there's two hallways, one leading left and one leading right. And there's tables going up and down. Sort of think of it as sort of like the dining room at Hogwarts. The Hogwarts dining room.
I see.
That's what it's like. And then there's the tables going down, there's the 4 long tables that people are sitting at. And in the very back there's sort of like a buffet style table that you can see servants are taking food onto, grabbing food, putting it onto trays, bringing it out to the guests. And you could say, since you're the cook, you're bringing out the big troughs of food and putting it on the buffet table. And does anybody... Okay, what was your score for finding the king?
24.
24. You find the king. It wasn't that hard.
I'm gonna tell my ladies I have to go do some finance work for the trading guild here.
Yes. What? Hold on. Oh, yes. What was the deal we were making with I forget. What was what? The king's an idiot, guys, just so you know.
You were the one that told me to trade something.
Yes, but what was it that I told you?
I think it was gems?
Gems, right? Oh, yes, the dwarves. The dwarves. I think you need to, yes, make sure you get the trade deal with the dwarves. I need beautiful jewels to adorn my daughter on her wedding day. Where's my son? And he walks away. Okay, anybody else want to do anything?
I want to see if I sense.
Knock at the door.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna say.
Hold on, just 1 second. Just so there's not a lot of shuffling and stuff, you know?
What did you want to do, Greg? Really quick.
Russell.
Never mind. I just may take a drink of wine or something.
Okay.
My character would
all
be
right.
careful.
Actually,
want to, like-
we have a plan.
All right. So.
I wanted to do something to
Yes.
see if I sense
Just follow
any
me.
danger, because I feel like that would be like
Okay,
a natural
do-
thing for me as a knight to do. Would be just to make sure.
Investigation with advantage, since you are a knight.
Can I see like that?
Disadvantage.
Okay.
No, with advantage.
Do investigation with disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
I mean advantage, not disadvantage.
Okay, I got a 9.
You got a 9?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I see anything fishy? Do I notice what they're doing?
Yeah. You don't notice the person.
Yeah.
You notice that. You notice them over there. You notice Water's character hiding behind.
Okay.
A fur.
Yeah, he rolled solo. That would make sense.
You notice that, and then that's all you really notice.
I'm gonna kind of just like make my way over there, not like rushing too much as if it's urgent.
Okay.
Just sort of-
So are you alright? Are Water, Joseph, are you two eavesdropping?
Yes. I'm gonna eavesdrop and wait for them to part ways.
Do a charisma check. That makes sense.
No, I think we're.
No, not charisma.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Why first?
Oh yeah, perception.
Okay.
If they're speaking
Wait,
another
for
language,
both
they
of
wouldn't
us?
be able to hear it at all.
Question: do either of you speak Elvish?
Yeah.
I do. I speak African.
Okay.
You can just write.
If he doesn't understand the language, he wouldn't be able to comprehend.
Do you speak
I speak.
common?
Yes, I speak
Everyone.
common.
Everyone's just.
Okay, yeah, but like, okay. Yeah, Italian is common, basically, since we're in Italy, but... Okay,
But they're specifically speaking.
I'm gonna allow it, say that you can... Actually, no. Joseph,
Oh, snap.
What?
you hear their conversations. You can get a gist of it from their gestures. Basically, what it is in a hushed whisper. Joseph, roll perception.
I'll say 17.
You notice the person with the purple hair is a female, but it doesn't But it doesn't look like a female. Though from the way they're dressed and their hair and everything, it screams female. But there's something off that you just can't get. And in the conversation, you hear, in Elvish, you hear the woman say, it's in a slightly lower voice, but it's also kind of a hush, so you can't tell if the low is because of the whispers, or that's just the natural tone of the voice you just hear. Do it, or I will kidnap her. You must know. You need to do it. If you don't do it, you'll never see her again. And then the servant runs away crying. And you notice that also,
Thank you, Greg.
the servant is a human with short brown hair.
Okay, where's the human going?
Down the right hallway towards the kitchen.
Would I be able to follow them?
Yes, I want to do that too. I'm gonna.
Stealth check real
Yes.
quick.
I'm making my way over to them
stealth
now,
check.
so I'm like, I assume I'm
Stealth
kind
check.
of there.
Yeah, I'd say you're able to...
Okay, you
You get there just in time. You get there just in time to see the human servant run away.
I get okay.
So that's when you get there.
Do I
You
see
add
the?
it.
Do I see the purple-haired person?
After he runs away, you see that the the purple terror woman sort of puts up the hood of her cloak and goes down the left hallway.
Does that look suspicious to me? Would going down the left hallway be suspicious, or is that like an open area?
Down the left hallway is towards the common area, the servants' quarters, and the stables.
So I suppose that would seem kind of normal, wouldn't it? And I hadn't just seen their argument, right? Like, I just saw her walk away, I didn't see
You
them.
saw her, like, all you saw was her running away.
Okay.
Greg.
I would like to put on my mask and start telling jokes for the
Performance
rich
check.
people. Indeed.
I got 25. Unnatural.
Okay, so
Critical fail.
you just trip over a brownie. I don't know where it came from. but
I tripped over the banana peel from my banana.
you trip over a banana peel, fall, and you take 2 d20 damage. No.
Is that a thing?
Banana peels add extra damage for the comedic effect. But no.
The king do like my slippery.
But yeah, you trip over a brownie and you don't make it. You are able to follow. You're able. What was yours?
25. Unnatural.
You're able to. So she got a bit of a head start above you. You're able to follow her down the corridor towards the kitchens. She turns down the hallway away from the kitchens, and as you turn down that hallway, she's gone.
To be fair, I have a 35 speed.
She's gone. You can roll investigation. Okay, what did you get?
11.
You got an 11 for performance. You're up there. You're telling jokes. A few of the kids have surrounded you.
Kids. The monsters! They've approached me!
Does your character not like kids?
I would assume not.
Okay.
As
Well,
an intellectual.
Hey, Greg, are you gonna roleplay those jokes for us?
I'm gonna roleplay some jokes.
Does perception work, Abby? Or do you specifically want that other roll?
Some
Investigation.
little children, little
Oh, not funny.
monsters. Why did the chicken cross the road?
Potato.
Wait, can my character be that too?
Can my character also, yes. You've attracted the attention of both the princess and what was your character's name? again?
Sylvia.
And Sylvia.
Because it's a deeply intellectual creature that has profound knowledge of the multiverse.
Boo! That's stupid.
Oh my god!
That's stupid.
I want Meg.
Sweetie, do you think?
Do not bring up negs in my present, Joseph A. Bank. I shall destroy you.
Make love, not war,
telling my
guys.
mom.
Okay, make love, not war.
Oh,
All right.
my.
So yeah,
I want
what did you get for your?
That one.
You got a nat 20? You notice a panel in the wall. It's bumping out a little. It's not even with the other panels in the wall.
I'm gonna give the old poop.
Well, what do you do to the wall? What do you do to it? Where do you hit it on the panel?
I just like palm it, just like push it in.
It evens out with all the others.
Can I just like pry it out then?
How do you do it?
I have deep skin icing with them and daggers.
How do you do
Describe
it?
it.
I need a description.
In vivid detail.
In the way that it was open, I just like swing it out that way with a dagger.
But like, what do you do with the dagger? Do you take? What do you do with it?
I like put in the tip and just like wedge it out sort of.
Roll. Disadvantage.
But that's just the thing.
Roll a number.
Roll with disadvantage.
What roll?
Just a roll.
3.
You got a 3? It doesn't budge.
Okay, I guess.
Do you want to try again?
I guess.
You try it.
I don't know what roll it is.
It's just
A D20.
It's just a d20. It's not a roll. No advantages or anything. It's just a roll. You want to roll again?
No, I guess.
No? Okay. So, yes. I'm gonna say, Joseph, your character kind of gives up and saunters back into the main hallway. And the king, after you guys sort of hang around at the banquet for a little while, the king kind of goes up to each one of you and says, "Go, can you, and like, at this point, the princess has returned to her throne. She's looking forward, and so the king comes up to you guys, and you're not sure why he picked you, but you know why he picked you, because you're a bard, and you're a bard, and so the two bards, you understand why, but the rest of you, you're confused. Well, Sky, maybe your character, not so much.
Wait, what does he want me to do?
He's sending you up to the dais. You entertain the princess.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Hey, Bard Bunny. Do you know
So
who
yes,
I am?
all 6 of you are now up at the dais entertaining the princess. What are you doing?
Oh snap!
You're
Help talking to the dwarves right now.
Okay, let's go around.
at this point. You finished your dealings. Like you finished out the numbers and you've written up the proposal to talk to the dwarves. And you've returned. You've told it to the king, and he says, "Okay, go entertain my daughter. Go entertain my daughter. She likes numbers. That should help. I think. Where's my son?" And he runs away.
Let's saying like who does what. Like let's just go
All right,
around.
so just to make things easy, let's roll for initiative, just to make things easier.
Party initiative.
Wait, am I in this?
Yes, everybody is in this except for CJ.
21.
Yeah, because I'm cooking all the
I gotta-
things for the king.
Yeah, you're not part of the
Stops
beta.
ordering anything.
Actually, I'm gonna say you're helping out some of the servants, so you roll initiative too. Okay, Sky, what'd you get?
13.
Greg,
A natural 20.
Plus what?
Nick,
17.
Oh, fuck yes.
21.
Water.
13.
Level 5 as I focus on my product.
Okay. All right, Water. What do you want to do? How are you entertaining the princess?
Oh no.
Let him do it.
How do you entertain the princess, Water?
I go up to the princess and I say, "I shall now sing one of my songs to my people."
Do you already have an inspiration point?
Nope.
No,
Give me an inspiration point. Performance check.
Yeah. That's a 6. Plus
Advantage. Do it with advantage.
Advantage.
Because she likes drums.
So it's 12.
She likes music. So.
Minus 1, because I'm not good at charisma.
She's smiling at this point. She's smiling.
Yes.
And she seems happy. Greg, what do you do?
So, noting her lack of entertainment in my jokes, I believe I shall sing her a poem.
Do you want to roleplay that poem or not?
I'm gonna try my best.
Alright, let's do it.
100 years later, from the convent she came, the beautiful queen, or the beautiful princess of, what is her kingdom's name?
Alright, you sing that whole performance.
Drum solo.
Fucking
I'm gonna say you're doing this in character, so roll that performance check with disadvantage.
9.
9 again.
Because my fucking this fucked up.
Excuses, do it. What'd you get?
Oh, I got 9s.
Nice.
Okay.
Double 9.
She was interested at first, but then you mentioned her mother, and she kind of was like out. She was not part of it anymore.
Super accidental mention.
Oh, I forgot to mention, in your time at the court, you've realized that the princess was away when her mother died. She was at the convent, and she was not notified until she got back.
So doesn't
From-
care about money.
So her mother was dead for 50 years before she heard about it. Just as a thing that you know. Okay, and now we are on to you.
Okay, I would like to run out of the room. Use my disguise kit to make myself look like the king. Run back in.
You do realize the king's like 6 feet tall, right? And you're only 3 feet tall.
Oh no, it's fine.
It's not a superstar.
Increase height.
Okay, roll. Roll. What is that? Charisma?
Oh,
Or is it intelligence? Okay.
Intelligence save.
Well, I don't think the point is that he's trying to trick people into thinking that he actually is the king.
I think it's just a little
I just
bit
want to know like how
That
good.
raises the question: would the princess be okay with you mocking her father?
Oh, she's totally down with it. She
yeah.
The king be it?
We'll figure that
Do
out.
you realize how stupid the king is?
He
He
doesn't know
would be
it.
totally into it, man.
He didn't go into preschool.
He probably think it'd be adorable.
Yeah, he'd think it'd be adorable. King would be perfectly fine with it.
Uncommon trait
Okay,
of a monarch.
so
Sounds like my
Enjoying
dad.
to be.
we're let's do charisma contest.
Go.
Alright, so 25.
She's
That's
smiling.
a natural
She's
20.
laughing
Yeah,
and
that's a
smiling
natural
at this point. She's very happy. She sort of pats your head and pours a little bit of wine into it.
Kills.
I'm gonna say the tree works as sort of like a second mouth for like a second mouth kinda for your
Yeah.
like.
Absorb water and such, not alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
That's a bit of a poison.
no.
You think
I
it's a
don't-
bit
I think
of
it's-
I'm 2 years
Ow.
old. I don't like that.
you were.
Okay.
It worked.
Okay, I run out of the room. I run out of the room and cast Lesser Restoration to heal the poison.
It's not okay. All right, fine. If you think it'd be poison, then it will work. All right.
He's
I guess it's a poison.
She's like, what'd you do? That's
She's a child, so she probably spit it up.
Okay.
Breaking news:
my
mutton was
father.
stolen again.
Okay. Sky and Joseph dexterity modifiers. Can you get
5.
Yeah, go.
Okay.
Sure, let's do that. I want to like just start juggling my daggers.
You
But
stole my
Performance.
shit!
what?
You stole my shit!
I'm gonna be
Performance.
better at it.
Performance check.
I'm gonna have to step
But then I
up.
also want to do my rapier with it, so it's like 3 things at once.
Performance check with
Let's
disadvantage
go.
because they're knives.
18.
Well, you know the rapier will spin in the air as it goes.
Why am I spinning this? 18 and
Rapiers
then
are
that's
balanced weapons. You know that, right?
16
They don't
plus
spin.
that's 16.
Yep,
That's
that's
Okay. 16. You managed to do it, but the princess is uneducated.
Wow. So you didn't hurt nobody.
She looks and she watches,
Hardest.
but then she just kind of looks away. And up next, Sky.
Alright, so I'm gonna have to step this up a bit. So I was gonna do the dagger thing, but I noticed in my pack that I have 50 feet of rope.
Don't kidnap.
I'm not doing nothing that you. Okay, no, I ain't doing that. So I'm gonna make the assumption that there are some like on the way there, right? There's probably some like weight training places or places to train, right? Like, no, just in the castle in general, right? What do you mean? We're in the castle right now.
Yeah.
We're just going upstairs. Are we out in the ballroom once we go upstairs to entertain the princess?
Oh no, she's not upstairs. She's just on the dais. What are you doing?
Okay, what I'll do is while they're performing, I'm gonna leave the room for a second to get some weights somewhere. Okay, just hear me out.
You go. I'm gonna say you go into the kitchen.
Yeah, something kind of heavy, right?
So you go into the kitchen, and off the kitchen is the servants like work area, and
Yeah.
you grab the iron. You grab an iron.
An iron. Okay, well I'm gonna sort of like tie my rope around it. I'm gonna do some cool like rope tricks, right? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Okay. Performance check.
Okay, cool.
Da-da-da-da.
Whoa! Performance is charisma so 19. 23! Not natural 20.
She's entertained by it, but again, quickly falls out of it and just sort of.
That's a
Six.
23, Abby!
She's bored. Okay. She's
reason.
entertained for a good while, but becomes bored. She gets bored of it. Because she gets bored very easily. In order to hold it, you would have gotten like closer to like above a 27.
Okay.
Because to hold her like attention for a long time.
Okay.
And so, yeah, she grows bored of it, and she says, I grow bored of this malarkey.
What?
Malarkey?
Oh, I thought I heard bulwarky.
That is
No,
what
I said malarkey.
No, you said
Okay,
bull.
listen, whatever. She's bored.
Snap.
I grow bored of this malarkey. As much as I like you, pet, and she kind of pats
She kind of, what's her character's name again?
Horace.
She kind of pats Horace's head. It's like, as much as I care for you, pet, I must leave. And she gets up from her dais. She walks down the center, and she starts walking down the center into, like, the dancing area. She gets towards the middle of the center, when all of a sudden she stops. She stops, just dead in the center. And she falls to her knees, and she grabs her head. She's like gripping her hair, white knuckled. She looks like she's in immense pain. She's facing you guys. And as she looks up, her eyes are pure white. They look as if they're headlights.
Have I ever seen her like this before?
They look like they're like a headlight. They look like they're shining. They're glowing. She looks up, she let go of her head, and she sort of stands up, and then she floats. It looks as if she starts to float, basically. And she goes maybe a few inches off the ground, just enough to where her feet, when they dangle, they just barely touch the ground. Her hair, it seems as if she were underwater. And so she reaches up, and at this point the king has returned to his throne and is sort of standing. She reaches up, she points to him. And before she says anything you want to do. There's going to be about 30 seconds of time.
Who's she point to?
The king.
I want to do something.
Okay, let's start with Greg.
I would like to put myself in between the king and the princess, like as a physical barrier.
You can tell because how long have you been at court? Would you say?
If I'm the head researcher, or am I?
No, you're just a researcher.
I'd say around 15 years as a half elf that lives.
The princess has done this before, and you know she's not really. She's done this before. She's done this before, and you know she's not meaning the king any harm.
How often? How often does this happen?
Not very often, but it does happen.
Every
Maybe I'd say out of 4 out of every 10 times.
Oh, this is her scene.
And then, Nick, what do you want to do?
What's the game again?
500.
Okay.
Jacob, you want to do something?
I want to cast dancing lights around her to make it envious.
Okay. I can do
So it's
it.
like 4 light orbs like floating around her.
Okay.
Because I thought she was like messing around.
Sky, what's up?
Okay, couple questions. Have I seen her doing this before?
How long have you been at court?
I don't know, maybe. So I'm pretty younger. I'd say 5 years.
5 years at court?
But we're kind of friends.
You've seen her
now.
do this once before.
And did it end in somebody getting hurt?
No,
No.
it did not.
Okay.
Anything else?
My character's been here for 3 years. Have I seen this?
No, you have not seen this before.
Okay, I'm freaking out. I look up to her.
Are you still hiding behind your fern?
No, he's gone.
I'm on the I played the bongos and I'm just standing
Just
by
like,
the king.
You were. I'd
Whatever.
say you were like playing your bongo, and then all of a sudden you just stop. You just stop and you stare and you cower, and then you run behind a tree.
What?
Let him do it.
Goes behind.
Alright, so
Yeah.
I see a giant magical thing pointing at a king,
It's still the princess.
still the princess, so I know not to harm her. I want to cast Entangle on her.
Are you sure about that?
No?
Hey, Johnson.
Are you absolutely positive you want to cast Entangle on the princess?
But I don't do that, and I think I did.
You want to say?
You know what? My character thinks about casting Entangle, and then he gets a sudden suspicion. Maybe that's not a good idea.
After you think about casting Entangle, the pseudo dragon comes, sits in front of you, and steam comes out of his nostrils. Nick, what did you want to do something?
Yeah, I've seen this before. I'm 375 years old.
How long have you been at court, though? For like a really long time?
100, 200 years?
Yes, you've seen her do this several times. And you know, she means the king no harm. Anyway, is that all? Okay. So, she points at the king, and she says in a loud, booming voice, "The Forsaken will be persuaded to take something precious. The dancing lights shall guide the day. The boar will fall to the griffin, and the stars will guide you to the holy place." Then
Orbs around her.
the princess then collapses onto the ground. She's fainted. Her ladies in waiting come. They pick her up and take her to the chamber.
Am I one of those ladies since I'm part of the servants?
No.
For the record.
Okay.
Read it more clearly, like louder.
Alright. The Forsaken will be persuaded to take something precious. The dancing light shall guide the day. The boar will fall to the griffin, and the stars will guide you to the holy place.
The stars. It's a metaphor, guys.
And for all of those, for those of you that have heard the princess's scryings before, you can tell a lot of her visions and a lot of her prophecies are very riddled, but they're also very they use a lot of the symbols. Like if they central around the kingdom, they definitely almost always use the symbols of the person. And so after the prophecy says that, you see the king sort of slump in his chair and put his head in his hands.
The king does that?
And you remember
We all
the king's
remember
symbol is
It's
a
a
boar.
So he's gonna fall to me. Do we know who he is?
The
Griffin.
Great. I'm fucking retarded.
You do not know
You're
who the
not.
Griffin is. You know nobody in the court has this. Actually, do investigation. Actually, no. History check. Do a history check.
Everyone?
Yes. Everyone do a history check.
Even me? That's
Yes, CJ, I would say you're in this. You're in the.
Everyone would hear this. wouldn't they?
My character's
Yes,
new to this.
everybody that's in the ballroom has heard this.
I was thinking I was preparing wake-up ride for the princess or something.
You did hear it, probably.
But you were still in the ballroom, so you would have heard it.
Can I use this?
Okay, Sky, what did you get?
19.
18.
25.
1.
Oh my god.
I'm new to this.
Okay. I'm gonna say if you got above a 5,
Yeah.
if you got above a 5, you know. Actually, no. If you got above a 10, 10 makes more sense. If you got above a 10, you know there's nobody else in the court that has a griffin as their sigil.
As far as Kareem knows, she was very literal. Like, there's gonna be a boar in here and a griffin. It's really, it's gonna be really scary.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Since you rolled a critical 1, Kareem is just. She's terrified. She's like, oh god. She's like, they're gonna take. The stars will take me to the holy place. Oh my. There's an asteroid gonna come and it's gonna, like, take me to heaven. Oh, I'm gonna die. She's panicking. She's full on panic.
So I would I have any dealings with the Turlium Court, as in their research? Would I know their research? And would I have dealings with the court?
So the kingdom of Terulum is placed just over the mountain ridge to the south. So I would say you've been over and you've searched through their tomes maybe once or twice in your lifetime. And so, yes, that's the only real history that you have with that kingdom.
Would I know the symbols of their king?
History check, disadvantage.
Since I got a high roll on my history check for this, do I know the griffin symbol?
No, you do not know the griffin.
On a side note, Nick, I'm going to raise your voice a bit.
I'm not seeing your wavelengths.
Okay.
18.
You got an 18
Yes.
On disadvantage.
on
Very
disadvantage.
quiet, very quiet.
I'd say you kind of, it's vague, but you kind of remember that maybe it might have been a symbol. It could have been something. It might have just been another lion. You're not positive, but you feel like it might be. Like there's a small possibility from what you can tell that it might be affiliated with that kingdom.
I wish to approach the king.
Alright, how do you approach the king?
Sire, no one at this kingdom has the symbol of the griffin. I keep forgetting it's the...
No, it's the boar.
Wait, no, the griffin.
Oh, the symbol of the griffin, my bad.
Boy. No one at our kingdom has that symbol. I am familiar to a sort. There may be that symbol in another kingdom, such as Telibri. Is that turban?
Yeah, Tyrion.
Yes. I have it written as turban.
Tyrion.
We may wish to be cautious in our diplomatic dealings with them, though that may be unnecessary.
I don't know. I don't know how to. It could mean anything. My daughter, she's never been.
She's never been wrong about a prophecy before. Boar who folds the griffin. Does that... I hope it does not mean death, but I fear it might. Please, leave me. I must be alone to my thoughts.
And he gets up and he heads to his chambers, but he stops, he turns around and he says,
Gather your comrades. Protect my daughter. I do not want her alone in this trying time.
and then he leaves.
Am I a comrade? Or
Yes,
am I
you're a
still
cook.
Batman?
I would say. Okay, so do you gather your comrades? Who? I would. You kind of roll. Roll a d20.
Give
My only comrades
just
are ones that are.
Just roll a
close
d20.
to
He's 17, say.
You assume that the comrades meant everybody that he had sent before to entertain the princess. Yeah, basically everybody. And so, yes.
I'm stupid Batman's
I would all do. Do I know the king's lead guard? Yes, captain of the guard.
Captain of the guard.
There really isn't one, is there?
He is the captain of the guard. No, the king.
The king is the captain.
Yes.
Who is below him?
This is lieutenant.
Who's his lieutenant?
Speedy governor.
I've been here for 50 years. I can say.
His lieutenant is a half-orc named Aoth.
Is he present at the ball?
No.
Could I do a roll to see where he is?
Do a insight? Yeah, do an insight roll.
10.
You know he's in the castle.
I'm gonna start looking for him. But I'm gonna tell these people. Let me word this. Let me smooth it out like silky butter.
Yeah.
Alright, guys. Go to the princess's side and guard her with your life. I will see to the king's aid.
Yes.
Your financial reports are not as valuable as the princess's life. If you value your job and your financial standings, you will guard princess priority number 1.
You want shiny gems?
I would rather have the princess alive than shiny gems.
Okay.
She is a gem.
True.
Poetic AF.
Do you guys follow?
Kareem is loyal to the cause.
Did I
He
do something
follows.
for once?
I'm gonna say you are taking food to the princess.
I was gonna ask if I could do that.
You're taking food to the princess, but along the way you meet a human servant who kind of says, "Oh, don't worry, I will deliver the food to the princess."
I say no. I have it. I need these things.
And she sort of curtsies and she shows you this pendant that she has, which marks her as a servant of Lady Sarath. So she's like one of the. This servant, her name is Maria. She is Lady Sarath's main servant.
Dang, how am I gonna compete with that? You're not.
Persuade her.
I still want to talk to the princess privately.
Okay. You can. I'm gonna say. You give her the plate, but you come along with her, and you two are engaging in banter. I'd say.
Yeah.
I like to put
Behind
my,
your back, I'm thinking.
Okay.
I like to put my tentacles near like characters. I mean, the water's character's waist and make like a conga line.
Does anybody else join in on the conga line?
My two tentacles are just wrapped around
No,
you, basically.
Horace is too scared. Horace like immediately beelines for the princess. He's like,
Kareem is immediately into this.
I just want to say, right as he said that, he pulled out his bongo. Just lifts it out of his lap, and I'm just doing it.
Hanga! Yeah.
So we have you two are conga lining down. Horace is kind of just standing awkwardly there. What's your character's name again?
Solus.
Solus is just kind of standing awkwardly there. And, Joseph. What's your character's name?
Oh, Saria.
Saria is kind of there. Just, are you joining in on the conga line?
No.
No? They're all just awkwardly there. You two are doing the conga line. And you get to the princess's door, which is in a tower in the west wing of the castle, right next to the atrium. And you get to their door, and you stand guard. And there's a few seats outside, quite an open hallway, and yes. And for that, I will go to Greg.
I would like to do an insight check again.
An insight check? Okay.
Yes.
Roll with... Yes, roll.
19 plus 3.
You know he is in the king's quarters planning out.
So I'll stay with the princess.
So you choose to follow them?
Yes.
Okay.
Indeed.
Sky.
wait, are we there yet?
Yes, you two, all of you are posted outside
What is
of
the floor made
princess's-
out of, by the way?
Wood.
Oh god.
I like to cringe while doing the conga line.
Actually, no. It's made out of marble.
There we go.
That's
How about the door?
The door is made out of wood.
Okay, I won't touch
It's
that.
a tree. It's a tree. There's gonna be a lot of wood.
Are we still congaing?
Yes, you two can still conga if you wish to.
I mean, where are we going?
Yes, Nick.
I'll let Sky go first.
Okay, Sky.
Thank you. So are the maids there yet? With the
I'm gonna get to them.
Okay. I want to do something when they get there.
Okay.
I'm gonna knock on the door of the princess, see if she's in there.
One of her ladies in waiting, Mizu, comes out and she just says, "The princess is resting." Closes the door and walks back inside.
Okay.
And Greg.
Yes, I would like to stop them from conga lining.
Do you let them? Do you let him stop you from conga lining?
When he tries to put a hand on me, I'm gonna slap him with my tentacle.
Did not say we're going to touch him.
Okay.
Okay, how are you stopping them from conga
Yeah, how are you
lining?
stopping me?
Might you please stop conga lining for the princess's sake? She's trying to get sleep, and you're creating such a loud disturbance.
Kareem immediately stops in place, restrains all movement.
Thank you, sir.
I like to shove my tentacle in your mouth and start playing with it.
Do you allow this? Do you resist?
Why wouldn't
Okay. I'm gonna say acrobatics on that.
Ooh.
Yes. Where is this?
Roll a tentacle leap.
With me.
Leave.
21.
This is what I gotta roll.
How would we handle this situation?
I don't know. I've never had to deal with somebody.
Strength and dex.
So would he roll like?
Dexterity.
10.
I slapped.
So what happens is, as you try to put it in, he just kind of like takes your tentacle and like thwops it aside. He just kind of puts his hand on it and just kind of moves it out of the way.
Wow.
Anything you wish to say? Roleplay.
Sir, I need you to kindly stop.
Little girl.
It's a little girl.
Madame, I understand that you are a child. But if you continue this misbehavior, I shall have to report you to the king.
The king likes me anyway.
Yes, but in this time of trouble, I don't think he'd find your behavior amusing, as it is oft obnoxious.
Kareem says, "Shh, we're getting loud." Kristen's trying to sleep.
Man, it's just a child.
His jokes are bad anyway.
I know what you mean.
I laughed out loud.
The princess is trying to sleep. You must be quiet.
Stop yelling this instant.
Guys,
I would like to intimidate all of the people who are chatting.
Intimidation with disadvantage.
It's basically everybody but
Wrong one.
I say disadvantage because you said your character was scrawny.
19.
19?
Versus.
Your intelligence modifiers.
What?
Intelligence.
Intelligence saves.
Okay.
7.
You are so lucky.
Okay, well, you did.
I get scared.
Okay. What did you get, Water?
I got like a 7.
A 7? Okay. I'd see both of you. You're not really scared, but you're just like, ugh, fine. And you just sort of like, fine, and you just give in, and you be
Cream
quiet.
stares at him blankly, and a fly lands on his eye and flies off. Have I showed you my picture of Cream yet? Just so you have a good visual.
Okay. Okay, so at this point... What's your character's name?
Cleford.
Okay, let me just say Clef.
Okay, yeah.
So at this point, Maria and Clef have arrived at the door, and hold on. Let's do it.
Horace wants to go in after.
Hold on, I need to do something.
I would like to keep all of you from going in and only let Maria.
I don't trust Maria.
You see
Only trust me.
Clef come up, but Maria, she's kind of hanging back. You don't really. You notice her? She's one of the. Maria is
Head servant.
was the head servant for Sarah.
Oh, okay.
Maria's kind of hanging back, and then she sort of slips in the door.
I clip from Clip.
And you do investigation, real quick.
All of us?
Yes, everybody do investigation.
With investigation or just?
No, actually, perception. Do a perception. That would be better.
Oh,
And it's a 15.
17.
If anybody wants
18.
to take it,
Or
If
18.
you got above, if you got a 15 or higher, you notice that the goblet of wine that is on the tray, there's a bit on the actual tray itself, and a tad,
Oh.
and there's a tad like on her, or on her dress, just like a little bit on the
I
shoulder.
What is
stop
it?
her before.
Wine.
I stop her before she does it.
Can we roll initiative first?
You want to roll initiative? Okay.
I'll roll initiative.
That way we can know who goes when, because we have a lot of things we want to do.
That's actually a good idea.
You're right.
17
I
plus
got
6.
12.
Okay.
Case of
Sky,
alert.
Mine did.
15.
Greg,
12.
Nick,
Oh, 12 plus 4 is my dex modifier.
14.
Water,
23.
Joseph,
16.
So what?
CJ.
So what? You're just a
Oh, I
panic
didn't know I
attack
could roll.
machine.
roll initiative.
I'm alert.
Yeah. So you either trip it or you get triggered off of something really fast.
Okay, Water, what do you want to do?
I would like to cast Detect Poison and Disease.
Okay. What do you have to roll for that?
Oh, wait, I have a spell.
It's just automatically
It
It
rolls
automatically
like
works.
It automatically works?
That's cool as fuck.
Yep.
Okay.
that. One of those spells that
Works automatically.
Let me see.
Wait, did anybody?
You can tell that it's not normal wine.
It's not normal. Interesting. Can I know, like, if it's poisoned or if it's diseased or if
It's
it's
not poisoned or diseased.
Jeez. Okay, well,
You know, it's normally
Not
red
normal
wine. This
wine.
is white wine. That's
If
the only
it's a
difference.
poisonous creature, it would also be.
It's not.
I am not poisonous.
so can you describe the setting?
So, you're in sort of a.
Like, just what I see.
Okay, so the area you're in, it's like. It's one of the 4 towers that are in there. And it's a circular hallway that leads off to. It's a corner. And so there's a large circle in the circular main area. And then the one hallway goes off to the perpendicular to the door, and the other one goes parallel to the door. The door is in the very corner. It's on the if you were headed down the parallel door, it would be on the left.
And Maria, she's in the room with us, right?
Yes. I'd say you catch Maria just before she opens.
Yes.
So the wine's on the cart with him.
Yes.
Do
No.
Wait, do I know anything about this? About the food being off or anything? Or was I just not
No.
focusing?
All you
while
know
I
is
could
that
be?
you were tasked to bring. You were tasked to bring the princess her dinner because she didn't eat anything at the banquet. That's all you know.
I would like to
Besides-
stop Maria and be
That's
like,
what I'm already
Even though
doing.
you detected
Okay.
poison.
So you did detect
Yeah.
poison, so I'm gonna move on to CJ. What are you doing?
I'm pushing the cart, and I'm sitting there waiting to talk to Princess.
Okay, but is there anything you want to do before you talk to the princess?
I say, what's the holdup?
Maria just kind of looks back at you. Her lip. Perception. Do perception.
Everybody?
Where the heck is your die?
I have it in my fingers.
Do perception. Just CJ.
D20?
Yes,
Wait, just
just CJ.
13.
So you kind of notice that her lips quivering a little, and it looks like she's almost about to cry. And so she's just like, I'm not sure. I just need to bring the princess her food. That's all I need to do. And she's kind of like looking down. She's not really responding to anybody.
Hey, it's alright. I didn't mean anything rude.
Of course, ma'am. Is your hair girl, boy, or girl? She's like, oh, of course, ma'am. I need to bring the princess her food. And then she reaches for the doorknob again, and we're gonna go to Sky.
God. I know.
So we're ignoring this.
He's okay. I mean, he's gonna put a hand on her shoulder and, ask. Okay, hey, can I go in with you? I wanna be sure she's okay.
okay.
She blushes very deeply because this is a woman that the voices have told you to flirt with before.
Okay, all right.
She's just like, no, she's not. She's a servant. She's not a prostitute. Stop it, Greg. This is a woman that the voices have told you to flirt with. So she's like, I'm sorry, sire. And she just looks down and she does not. She
One of
refuses
those
to make
anime,
eye
like-
contact.
Oh.
She's one of those
I-
nervous anime girls.
I think that my contact is what freaked her out. I'm like, sorry, I didn't mean to startle you or anything.
It's okay, sir. It's just I'm not allowed to bring men into the princess's chambers. And she looks away. She looks away again.
Uh-oh. So he's holding up his hands awkwardly because he doesn't know what to do with his hands anymore. And he's just like, and he's just kind of like, okay. And I want to make so she's really nervous, and I want to, I'm gonna suck her dick. No. No, I want to roll to see, if I can tell, so she seems really nervous, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if I can see anything into that, right?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So-
what would that be? Perception?
Yeah, I think perception.
Investigation?
Investigation. Yeah, investigation. That would make more sense.
No, I have a 0 in intelligence and wisdom. 6.
It's a 6.
Yeah. He's a strong
She
boy.
seems familiar, not just because she's Seraph's main servant, and then since you spent so much time with Seraph, you've probably seen her before, but you haven't really spent any time with Seraph other than at the banquet today, and so you feel like you've seen her recently.
I've seen her recently.
Yeah, you feel like you've... It's like, didn't I see you today? And then that's all you really get.
Right. No, I mean, kind of on her demeanor.
Oh, on her demeanor?
Yes, that's what I meant.
She's nervous. Can't tell why.
Well, why are you nervous? You seem like...
Well, for one, you're here, sire.
But, I could leave. Am I scary?
Oh, no, it's quite fine. I need to go deliver the food to Lady Seraph. I'm sorry, and she reaches for the handling.
Oh.
And we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to.
What was it?
No, hold on. We're moving to Jacob.
Okay. being traumatized by realizing it's wine, and from the earlier event that the princess have poured the wine into my pot, I scream, "The devil's water!" and just slap the plate with the tentacle.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Are you positive?
I will make you
usually get
more
traumatized.
scared.
Go to the page.
Order. Go to the page, read the page. Jacob is unfamiliar with the page.
Wait, what page?
Why are you sure why he wants to do this?
Jacob, if you do that,
Are you sure page?
Feel mad.
Oh, that page.
For those who don't know in the audience, there's a specific rule
Yeah.
in the player's handbook, a little disclaimer, if you will. If our host Abigail would go to said page.
It's like the first 3 pages.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh.
It's not a rule.
It's not a rule, a disclaimer though. It's
What is
like
it?
a warning, if you will.
It just
Okay.
says that if
It's well, reading it for dramatic effects.
I don't know what you
Wait.
want me to find.
I don't know why you want to find it either. It's not
He's trying
that
to do
cool.
something that's immaculate.
We're teaching it to the audience so they know like why I'd be saying, "Are you sure?"
This page, kiddos, right here.
Yes, right. Oh, disclaimer right here. Small.
Okay, I'm gonna read the disclaimer.
This is
Wizards of the Coast is not responsible for the consequences of splitting up the party, sticking appendages in the mouth of a leering green devil face, accepting a dinner invitation from bugbears, storming the feast hall of a hill giant steading, angering a dragon of any variety, or saying yes when the DM asks, "Are you sure?"
So, Jacob, are you sure?
Are you positive this is what you want to do?
I was just pointing at it while saying, "The devil's water!"
Okay. And Maria just looks at you confused. She's just like, "What? Do you mean the wine?"
Yes. This is poison.
I guess in some cases it could be. But no matter. I must go to the I must deliver it to the princess. And now we're on to Greg, Nick, Dex.
2, 4.
Nick, go.
I would like to ask Maria, could I have a
Oh,
sip
did
of
you
that
not get a
wine?
16? Oh, you got a 16?
Yeah.
We'll go next.
Could I have a sip of that wine to see if anything's wrong with it?
I'm sorry, sir. I cannot. Nobody can drink from the princess's goblet.
I'm persuading.
What do I do for contact?
He's Eldritch Fun. She'd have advantage because this is a policy.
Okay. What did you get?
12.
She fight me.
It was bad.
I know, but I just want to say I got a 3 on that roll, and commoners have no bonuses whatsoever. So she says, "I'm terribly sorry, sir, but I can't have anybody else drink from the princess's goblet.
Why not?
It's a policy of the king, sire. I mean,
Do you
surely
have a bottle of the wine?
not on me. It's back in the kitchen
Okay.
where I got the food." She's very confused
I know.
about what's going on. Yes, it's back in the kitchen where I got the food from.
Just to make sure.
All right. She turns towards the doorway again.
But what flavor of wine is it? Likes this wine.
Quit holding me up. I'm
She-
tired of waiting.
She picks up the goblet and says, "Sir, it's red wine."
Okay.
And she shows it to you. It's a clear goblet. You can clearly see it's red wine.
When she reveals it to you, I hiss a little.
This is some gauntlet that I was like, I just like something weird about it.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Joseph, your turn. What do you want to do?
Will this area be at all suitable for sneaking? Or is this like...
you have to have some sort of
No.
cover.
Not really. No.
Yeah, that's what I was okay.
It's an open hallway.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, so that's... I want to try to get her to let me pass, just into the princess room.
Persuasion.
Can I use deception?
Persuasion.
Why would it be perception?
With disadvantage.
I'd like to help the Maria.
14.
You could make a joke, at least say it loud enough
She-
for others to laugh at.
Because I rolled a 15. So, she's like, sir, I'm sorry, but I cannot let you through. Ma'am, I'm sorry, I cannot let you through.
We're hoping that the lady
Please,
I'm saying your name.
please, sires, please, sirs, mesdames, I really must give the princess her food. And we'll finally go to
Oh yeah.
Greg.
Okay.
Oh. Durr. Durr.
What are you doing?
I opened the door for her.
You open the door for her? Okay. Do
I'm very
you...
good.
Such a gentleman.
She says, thank you, sir. Find me somebody who's competent. And she walks in the door. Do you look inside?
Sure.
Inside you see a four-poster bed at the far end. Yes?
What's a 4-poster?
It's a bed. It's like a king-size bed, and it has 4 posts on the corners of the bed.
You need a princess-side bed.
Leave!
I couldn't even hear anything you said.
Princess.
It is not a princess-sized bed. That's what he said.
Speak up. Oh, okay.
Okay, so you see a 4-poster bed at
See.
the end of there, and you see the Lady Seraph laying there, and her ladies-in-waiting, she has 3 of them. Her ladies-in-waiting are patting her with wet cloths and checking her temperature, and then as Maria comes up to there, she goes up behind the ladies-in-waiting in the little towards the vanity area. She sets down the tray, and she goes to move the goblet off of it. Roll perception. Give me the
7.
perception. She's a 7. Oh yeah, she just moves it off of it.
Sweet dealio.
All right.
I
So
closed the door.
okay. Hold on.
I like to stop the door from being closed.
So you close the door.
Oh, you just directly
You're
opposing
out.
me.
You're there for a while, and then you hear the trumpet sound. You hear the trumpet sound. No, do not make the trumpet sound, Greg. I swear to God. Greg, okay. You
And then
hear
the
the
royal
trumpet
bongo.
sound.
I am a bard.
You hear the trumpet sound that signal the fact that the king is having a meeting, and you assume it is to discuss the prophecy. And yes, each of you head off to your quarters, which are nearby the princesses, but not. So, like, let's say the princess's room is in that square tower. You're down the next hallway. That's where your rooms are.
Are we supposed to be keeping?
Do we?
What?
Yeah, aren't we supposed to be keeping the watch?
No. Another
Another-
guard comes and relieves you of
Oh.
your position.
Can we attend the meeting?
No, it's only for the king and his attendant and his advisors.
So is my sleeping quarters the garden?
Yes, I would say you're sleeping. You go up to the atrium, which it's just on top of the princess's quarters.
Okay.
Because that's where it is. You know, because of your time spending it, that there is a trap door that leads down into the princess's quarters from the atrium.
Sneaky.
And alright, so yes, you go there.
Is it nighttime?
You're in your quarters, and it's nighttime.
I wish I had told everyone I saw something weird about that line. Oh well.
And you fall asleep. Now I want you guys all. And yes, you fall asleep, and it's the next day.
What happened to
I
me and the
trance.
princess in the room and
I
stuff?
trance as well. because
You
we're
never went
out.
in there.
You never went in. You could have told me. You never went in. You
I-
went back to your servants'
In
quarters.
his defense, it's been
I
nonstop
was also
talk
going
from
to
everyone.
oppose him if
True.
he wanted to go in.
What was that, Greg?
I was also going to oppose him if he wanted to go in. Doesn't matter if he's a cook, doesn't go into the bedroom with it.
Alright.
Yeah, but you don't know what I really am.
It's not
Well,
common.
that's not the point, so you still
The
should.
next
Called secrets.
day. It's the next day. What do you guys... Okay, your breakfast has been brought to you. And... No... what do you want? And your breakfast has been brought to you. And... You normally receive your breakfast from the princess. Normally the princess comes up there, and while she's tending to her plants, she gives you your breakfast. What would you normally eat for your breakfast?
Soil. Nutrients from the soil.
Yeah, normally she would come in and she would like unpot your plant and refresh the soil. That's normally what she does.
Oh.
You wake up, the princess is not there.
Uh-oh. Dun dun dun.
Yes, Greg.
I report to the king and ask him if he would like me to attend to any duties this morning.
Who are you again?
I am Peltz, the stuff from yesterday.
Oh, right, the one with the ring, of course. Let me see. Right, I never gave I'm so daft. I never gave my daughter your gift. Where did I put it? And he's like fumbling around his chambers, and he looks over to his servant Kane, and he's like, Kane, where did I put the thingy? It's circular. Where did I put it? The ring! Thank you very much. Where did I put the ring? And then Kane kind of comes over and he holds like a little leather satchel at Kane and he's like, ah yes, here it is. And he like flamboyantly tilts it towards you and he's like, give this to my daughter. I don't feel like doing it right now.
Alright, I take it and I go to Princess's corpse.
Alright. What does anybody what do you guys want to do?
I
I'm gonna go to water first.
Now, Kareem, he doesn't like his food prepared in the castle, fancy style. He hunts for his food because he does not feel comfortable
Does he get
with
up
pre-made
early?
So,
food.
are you saying you're coming out early in the morning to hunt?
Yes.
Roll perception.
12 plus wisdom, which is 4, which is 16 then.
You see a blur of purple.
A blur of
Guys,
purple.
pay attention. As you go on for your daily hunt, as you're going into the woods, you see a blur of purple running into the woods.
Demon! We'll chase it.
You chase after it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe it tastes good.
roll a d20 real quick.
Yeah, 18.
Finally.
You're able to chase it for a good while, and you notice it's humanoid in figure, and is holding what you think is like a sack of potatoes over their shoulder, and it's running towards an area where you know is populated by Fae.
Oh,
You
snap.
know, it's part of the wood that is populated by Fae, and it crosses over into the realm where the Fae start and descend.
How do I stalk prey that I can't see? Well, getting there has to be some sort of way to. What's in the area of where it disappeared?
It's just heavy redwood forest.
Heavy redwood forest. Can I like climb to the top of a tree and like see like off in the distance?
Alright. Roll athletics.
13 plus my athletics, which is plus 3, so 16.
You managed to get up on top of the tree.
Yes.
Roll perception to see if you see anything.
Alright. Oops. 14.
You notice there's the area of the wood that the blur just ran into. It seems as if it's sparkling a little, as if there's somebody poured glitter on top of it.
I must stalk
And
my
that's all
prey.
you know. Moving on. We're gonna move on to Nick.
So I'm obviously up in the early morning because I'm a wood elf.
Right.
I trance instead of sleep.
Right.
So I'm up doing financial work and eating my breakfast as what I usually do when I get up in the morning.
Okay. So
And asking the king if he's sent the letter to the dwarves.
So do you head down to meet the king?
Yes.
Okay. As you walk up to the king, you see that,
Horse.
huh?
Horace.
No,
Greg's
Rex.
Greg?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Pelt. You see that Pelt is just leaving.
He's chased his character like 3 times to the king. You haven't remembered?
Listen,
He's
okay.
probably not going to remember my name.
So, the king is very forgetful. What do you do?
Ask him, my liege, have you sent the letter to the dwarves yet? I'm taking that you guess that you haven't yet.
Kent, did you send the letter like I asked you? He just shakes his head. You never asked me to, master. Wait, I'm asking you now. Can you send the letter, please? Where's my son?
Does the king actually have a son?
Yeah, he has a younger son, but he's supposed to be coming back from the convent. He came back from the convent, but he's been spending all of his time playing outside because he was in a convent. for 8
Playing
years.
Overwatch.
I just made such a weird thing to say.
Okay.
His son. I'm just
And
imagining a son sitting in a room just playing a game.
Alright. Yes. What do you want to do, CJ?
Has the king have breakfast yet?
No. I'm gonna say you're bringing the king breakfast because I'm gonna say you're one of the head cooks.
Okay, so what I do is I go up to the king's quarters. First off, I ask him, how is your morning?
Oh, it was quite lovely. I seem to have forgotten a lot of things, but that happens a lot. It seems to happen a lot often. What was your name again?
What?
Claire. Correct. Right. Is that my food? Oh, why, thank you. That is very kind of you. Oh, wait, I pay you to do that. Hold on.
And he takes the tray from you, he sits down at his table, and he starts eating. Although, he's kind of fat and chubby, and he has thick fingers, so he just kind of picks off pieces of his chicken, and he just kind of stuffs it. He doesn't really use silverware, he just kind of eats like that. And
I look at him and say, sir, do you need any appliances?
Oh, no, I'm perfectly fine. I do not see why Martha was always so preoccupied with using those utensils. They don't really help. I mean, maybe the knife does, but my fingers do just as good of a job. And he continues eating.
Besides cleansing this?
What? What's that?
I go, never mind.
Okay. Anything else you want to do?
I ask him, do you remember my father?
I barely remember you.
I say,
so I'm going to say no. I do not remember your father.
I say, okay, and I leave.
It works.
The king is super
Guys don't
forgetful.
know my true backstory.
Okay, alright, to Sky. You're gonna go.
Okay. So Horace, my boy, is gonna go down and do some training, in his solitary.
Lifting weights.
Performance check.
He gonna go performance check.
Do a performance check.
Okay.
It depends on what he's training.
Have a thing.
Yeah, this is 17. Oh,
There are so many servants watching you
my
train.
God. Is this the bit that's
Maria's at the front of it. Maria's at the front. They're all like,
Are they just walking?
they're just like,
Like both me and Greg see this.
I'm in a different. I'm at the princess's door, so.
Sylvia sees this.
Sylvia's like
3-year-old girl.
so yeah, there's servants around and
Do I
they're,
see them looking at me?
yeah.
I do.
roll stealth.
Roll a stealth check with disadvantage twice fold.
Legit or
No.
no. I'm like, what?
It was a yoke, my dude.
Okay, so he's training, he's hitting a dummy with a sword or something, and he kind of sees them, and he's like, is there something did I do something wrong?
And they just sort of giggle and gawk at each other. And at this point, one of the other knights has come into the training ground. His name... Well, give me a name.
Water.
Dick.
His name is Richard.
Daughter.
Water? What daughter? You just went on with daughter?
His name is Richard, and he's the one that has been picking on you the most.
Right.
He comes out and he's like, ladies, do not waste your time with this fool. You should come and join a real man. And he winks at them and they giggle.
Oh, what a guy that Gaston.
Yeah, he looks like, I'm gonna say, he looks like Gaston.
Oh my god.
He's a fucking giant.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Alright, what do you do?
I say K.
And you just return back to your training?
I mean, he looks more he wants to, he goes off to, a farther dummy, right? So I assume there's, a few more dummies.
Yeah, there's a few dummies.
So he kind of goes to a farther dummy. And, what? What's your problem?
Alignment issues.
No. It comes into place in combat.
The way that Sky's character works is he has voices in his head, and the voices tell him to do certain things, and he can't.
Oh yeah,
he can't
okay.
Really...
What would my voices be saying in this situation? Would they be saying anything, or do you think it'd be too minor of a situation that they would be saying?
Prove your dominance.
I'm spicy.
The voices tell you to move closer to him and go to the training dummy next to his.
Okay. So I'll roll the. Yeah, I fail. So
You do it.
Yeah.
You go and you move to the training dummy next to his.
Yeah.
He looks over to you and he says, "There are plenty of training dummies out here, and you choose the one next to mine."
Is there something you wish to know?
So,
Is there something? Do you have something to tell me? Like, why are you here? There's so many dummies here, and you choose this one.
Let's prove it, Tom. Let's prove it, Tom. Let's do it. What you said.
is this? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll intimidation. Let me.
Kill
So what are you trying to do? Right
You're intimidated.
You want to fight him.
You are very much.
intimidated, and I want to fight him, or
You're intimidated by him. However, you interpret that is up to you, or maybe up to.
Does
the
your
wizard.
character want to fight what they're scared of?
This one clearly wants to fight.
Roll wisdom saves.
Oh, I
Succeeds.
succeeded in that save.
Okay. The voices tell you to fight him, but you're able to resist.
I'm good. I'll go over here if that makes you more comfortable. And he goes farther away from farther down.
He kind of comes up to you, and he comes close and it's just like, do you have a quarrel with me? Why are you always bothering me? And at this point, the servants have kind of gathered around more, and one of them kind of like throws their fan at him. It's like, leave him alone! And they're like defending you about that, and he just says, I mean, he like walks away. He
Don't
just,
touch our hunky boy.
yeah, one of them yells that, and then he's just like, he just growls and walks away.
Okay, so somebody threw some. Okay,
Yes.
I'm like, thank you all. I mean, don't put yourself at an inconvenience for me.
They giggle, they swoon, they run away.
Okay, and I go back to training, and I'll say that's it.
Okay, let's go to who's nearest to the princess's door right now. Okay, so you and you.
Well, you gotta say names.
Okay,
I don't
you
know.
and
I haven't even
Jacob and
Gregory.
Greg. Do you do anything since what are you doing, Greg?
I am going to knock on the door and ask, "May I enter? I have a gift for the princess."
There's no answer. And then
I haven't really done like my action.
yeah, that's what I'm asking. What do you want to do?
Okay, well, I want to grab soil for some of the garden, just pop it up on top, and just go to the secret door and just like bolt down there.
Okay, I'm gonna say.
Also, say sorry to the wooden trapdoor.
Sorry, friend. I'm sorry. And you go down, and I'm gonna say, as you're climbing down the ladder to the through the trapdoor, Greg, you open the door at the same time. And you walk,
Coincidentally, it's like, oh,
like you open the door just as she's walking, climbing down the ladder. Yeah.
Please speak a lot louder.
And
oh
when
my
you
god.
Greetings, small one.
And just say it. Don't whisper, dude. Okay, so they. Okay.
If you're gonna whisper, go right up to the mic.
Greetings, small one.
I feel like this is becoming ASMR.
That's exactly what
Okay.
You're not being picked up. I can tell. She's still being picked up.
It's too real.
Just say yeah.
Okay, so as you two descend into the princess's bedroom, you see that her breakfast is on the table, untouched. It's slightly cold. The wine goblet that from the night before is on the bedside table. There's a few drops of the wine like on the table itself, and the curtains around the four-poster are heavy red curtains that have been drawn close. And what do you want to do?
I wish to do an investigation check to detect what may have caused this to happen.
What do you mean? Like, what are you doing?
This is a bright child who is into freedom and sunshine, and the windows are drawn closed and spilt wine.
The windows are not drawn closed, but the curtains that are around the bed are. Meaning you
Which
can't
would be
see into the bed. It's closed.
Oh, and I'd like to do an investigation check on the bed. See if
Okay, roll investigation.
a child is present. 22.
Wow, I'd like
Okay.
to run up and
You-
jump in.
pull back the curtains and see Princess is not in her bed.
Da-da.
Dun-dun.
We must tell the king immediately.
But
Oh,
what
never
you
mind.
do notice is there's a splash of red on the sheets.
We must tell the king immediately.
There's a splash of red on the sheets.
Oh,
You
wait,
can't tell what it is.
Oh,
Okay.
investigation check on the. Oh wait, I
Can I smell
Don't
it?
have to hold her hand.
You want to smell it?
I want to smell it.
You come up, you smell it. It's wine.
never.
Dang it! If only I had done something, but I detected that it was probably not good.
I'd
You
like.
come up, you smell it. It's wine. And as you look into the goblet, you notice poppy seeds on the bottom, in the base of the goblet.
Gasp.
Yes, go ahead.
Insight roll to see if she
Somebody
can.
roofied her drink.
Roll an insight check. I will.
Abby, did somebody roofie her drink?
Pretty much.
Maybe.
13.
13.
You assume because after you look into the goblet, Aragorn comes out from under the bed. Aragorn comes out from under the bed. He squeaks.
He has telekinesis, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has telekinesis.
Telepathy.
And he came
I can English good.
out and comes out, and you hear, both of you in your brain, you hear the griffin has arrived. And that's where we're ending today. Whoa.
Well, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, now we know that's it.
Is that it?